Well, that's how it was at half-time. It was 2-0. And during our show, sitting on the other set, I think, Gary, you were the one that pointed out that you expected changes. You expected at least one change from Manchester United to try and get themselves back in the game. And nothing happened. Nothing would happen until, what, another 10, 15 minutes away before it looked like there would be any inkling of a substitution.
Well, you know, I've been in changing rooms at half-time where we haven't played well, we're losing the game, we're being dictated to by the opposition, and, you know, the head coach has gone, right, I'm giving you 15 more minutes, you 11, you've got 15 minutes to prove that you're good enough to be out there, otherwise I'm going to make changes. Now, personally, I think action speaks louder than words, so rather than waste your breath as a coach, actually saying you've not been good enough, because you're kind of reminding everybody you've not been good enough, you just make the changes. And that tells everybody, you're coming off, so are you, you're going on, you're going on. I think that tells everybody that you're not happy and we need to do something different. And then, of course, you add how you want to play maybe slightly differently or whatever. But again, there's only so many changes you can make at half-time as far as, you know, the tactics as such. Because, you know, I think all players are somewhat limited. You know, if somebody gives me 10 instructions at half-time that they want me to carry out in the second half, am I going to really remember all 10 things? So for me, you keep it quite simple. But those one or two changes, and I would have been tempted to have made 2 changes at half-time, and that would have been my team talk.
Yeah. Because we look at this season, Jose Mourinho, Dyer went off in one game, turned things around. We discussed it, I think, 3 to 4 times already, the Jorginho substitution for Emerson.
That's the one that I can't understand. As soon as we were looking at the half-time, I've looked at the substitutes bench, we've both gone, Juan Mata potentially is the only player that could really come in there to get on the ball and give them a bit of an overload in midfield to make somebody get on the ball. The other one was Greenwood for Lingard, but again, that's high up the field. Mata was the change, and I just don't understand how Manchester United and the coaching staff didn't come up with something to do that.
Yeah, but it's interesting because Maguire had a really good opportunity just before half-time, a free kick and he's headed it and Leno's gathered it easily. If that goes in the back of the net and you go in at 2-1 down, it's a whole different atmosphere. But that didn't happen, so therefore, for me, the coach has to change the atmosphere. And you change that best, in my opinion, with actions, not words.
Yeah, I have to say, I think the big managers, I think football is, obviously it's changed, but it's even more ruthless than when we played, which is, like you say, Jose Mourinho gave Eric Dyer 20 minutes. You know, 20, it's not working, it's nothing personal. Yeah. It's not working, and it changed the game. Jorginho, 20 minutes with Emerson, nothing personal, but we need to get something out of this game. Ole, I just don't think is tactically at that level or ruthless enough to operate Man United in that fashion.
And he's got 2 relatively young, inexperienced coaches alongside him, hasn't he? Carrick is obviously one of them. The other young lad's name escapes me at the moment.
Well, he does have Mike Phelan.
I know Mike Phelan is there, but I don't see him on the touchline at games. Have I missed that one?
No, he's there.
He is actually there.
He's at the games.
I'm not saying he's not at the games, but I don't see him in the technical area, sat on the seats alongside Solskjaer. I haven't seen him there particularly. I might have got that wrong, but I think there would be certainly, based on who Phelan has worked under at Manchester United, I would have thought that you would certainly have him right alongside you, whispering in your ear.
I think you said ruthless this rather than when we played as well. I've never seen as many first-half substitutions this season as any other season. It'd be interesting to see the stats about how many changes this season have been made in the first half. That's for tactic reasons.
Let's not forget about what Duncan Ferguson did as well. They're not first half, but still time-wasting tactic, he said. But interesting tactical naivety from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Can that be improved on? And also being ruthless. Can you change the character of someone who's now, he's a middle-aged man?
Well, I think Ole was brought in not to win United Champions Leagues. He was brought in to steady the ship. And I think once that job's done, he will be exiting stage left and somebody who is ruthless and does operate at this level will come in and take the reins. I'm convinced about that. But there's just too many things when I look at United under Solskjaer that don't make sense when I watch it. We highlighted Lingard in the first half. It was so obvious. You've got to get him out and you've got to put Juan Mata in. It was the most obvious substitution in the world, and it didn't happen. And what is the point in giving him another 10, 7, 8, whatever he got, 8 minutes in the second half anyway, when he hasn't turned up in the first half? It just, I really don't get this Solskjaer mindset, to be honest. And I only put it down to tactical naivety. I don't know what else to call it.
Having said that, when you look at some of the decisions made above Solskjaer with certain players in the last 2 or 3 years, for example, we don't know what's happening with Pogba at the moment, do we?
Let's
be perfectly honest about it. We don't. You have a look at Sanchez signing. That was tip-top money. Now they've put him out on loan, and apparently they're still paying half his wages because he was on so much money that nobody would take him unless they, got a contribution. So it's not only the head coach at a club, it's kind of what's above and around him that he needs really good support on, and recruitment is absolutely key, isn't it?
The collective.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he has a say. Does he have a say, Solskjaer, do you think, in the recruitment? I mean, it might only be in the way that he might say, I need a left back.
Yeah.
And then they'll go and get on with it.
Yeah.
I know some managers like to be involved and say, I want a left back and I want that one.
Yeah.
Which I think is a bit more pep. But I'm not sure Ole's really got that kind of leverage as he at United to.
I honestly don't know as far as that is concerned. But, I would have thought that the way it works, you have your huge scouting network, and a lot of it is done, on screen because you have access on Scout 7 and what have you, all those various scouting networks. And, all the time clubs are monitoring players in different positions. Actually we're looking at 7 different right backs here at the moment. We're looking at 7 different left wingers. So, they're all looking. And then when the manager wants somebody new, they say, well, these are the 7 we've been tracking and monitoring, or these are the 12, whatever it is. And then I'd like to think the head coach certainly then goes through that and says, not really. Yes, I like him. Yeah. That might be a good opportunity.
Yeah.
So again, it has to be a team thing, a team decision.